How's it going?
Good. How are you? Bourbons?
No, I haven't even had time.
I bought one called Restoration Rye.
I'm doing some. Yep. Doing some Calumet now. Just that.
That's good stuff.
Ready? Ready, Jason? Yep.
Call the May 16, 2022 Safety Board meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Janowick?
Here.
Mr. Kometz?
Here.
Joining us virtually, Mr. Moran?
Here.
Mr. DeYoung?
Here.
Mr. Paradiso?
Here.
Chief Flores?
Here.
Chief Leduc?
Here.
Liaison Mike Schilling is absent. Attorney Decker?
Here.
And Town Manager Wizawadi.
Here.
Okay. Approval of minutes for April 18th. I need a motion to approve the minutes for our meeting. Motion by Mr. Paradiso, second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Kometz? All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. We have to do a roll call.
Roll call, yeah. Mr. DeYoung?
Abstain.
Mr. Paradiso?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Kometz?
Yes.
Mr. Janowick?
Yes. Motion carries. Monthly report for April, Fire Department. Chief Leduc.
Good evening, gentlemen. For EMS in the month of April, we had a total patient contacts of 113. 66 were ALS transports, 16 were BLS transports, the rest were refusals. Residents, we still remain heavy on resident transports at 77%, non-residents 23%. Franciscan Dyer, we transported 57% of our patients there, 24% to Franciscan Crown Point, and 18% to Munster Community. Total dollars generated last month, $90,242.16. Total monies received last month, $47,000, $768.33. On the fire side, we had a total of 156 calls. Again, the lion's share were in the town of St. John corporate limits with the 46373 zip code. We went to 112 within that zip code, 16 within our Dyer boundary, 2 within our Crown Point, and 2 within the Cedar Lake part of the town. We went to 7 within the township, and we had 17 calls for mutual aid.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Chief Flores?
From April 1st, 2022 through April 30th, 2022, the members of the St. John Police Department logged 24,360 miles and responded to 517 law incidents. The investigation of these incidents led to 25 arrests with 36 charges being filed. There were 307 traffic citations issued along with 383 written warnings for a total of 690 citations being issued during the month. Vehicle thefts totaled 0. Other thefts totaled 39,868. Recovered was 0. At the bottom portion of that, you see the thefts that occurred was basically all fraud and debit card fraud that we kind of discussed before. We're still getting hit pretty hard with those, so that was what the 39,000 was for. Kind of breaks it down into detail a little bit for you. Other than that, that's it.
Then we move on to promotional process, Chief.
Okay, before you gentlemen, I gave the 2 lists for you. We just recently went through a process for promotion for both corporals and sergeants. At the conclusion of that process that a couple of you gentlemen were involved in, we established 2 lists that I'm looking for approval for tonight. The first one would be the corporal eligibility list, which would have been a 2-year list, but the 2 officers that are on it are Officer Jacobs and Officer Wartzman on that list. I'm asking that this list be certified tonight, and we'll move with promotions after it's certified.
Okay, so, well, first we'll start, I need a motion to certify the corporal promotional list.
I'll make a motion we certify.
Motion, Mr. Paradiso, second.
Second.
Mr. DeYoung, all in, roll call, please.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Clement?
Aye.
Mr. Janowicz?
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. Next would be the sergeant's list. The 3 officers that are on that are Rybicki, Lukasik, and Zuzic. This will be a 2-year list, which will be posted today, and it expires May 16, 2024, 12 a.m. I'm looking for approval for this list as well from the board.
I need a motion to certify the sergeant's promotional list.
So moved.
Mr. DeYoung, second.
I'll second that.
Mr. Kometz, roll call, please.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Clement?
Aye.
Mr. Janowicz?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, next, looking from the sergeant's list, looking for approval to move forward and get a favorable recommendation, to promote Commander Rybicki and Corporal Lukasik to the hard rank of sergeant. Again, this will be a 2-year list expiring May 16, 2024. So Corporal Zuzic will be on that list. But for tonight, I'm looking for the board's approval to move forward and promote Rybicki and Lukasik. Just kind of give you a background on these two. They've been with our department for many years. Rybicki was promoted to corporal in 2017, Lukasik in 2018. Both of these gentlemen have done a tremendous job at their roles as supervisors. I have the utmost confidence and respect for both of them. It's very well deserved, and I have I know they will do a great job, and they will be part of moving us forward into the future. And I look forward to working with them in their new capacity. So I'm looking for approval to promote Rybicki and Lukasik to sergeant from corporal.
A motion to promote Rybicki and Lukasik to sergeants.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Mr. Paradiso, second.
I'll second.
Second.
Mr. Kometz, roll call, please.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Clement?
Aye.
Mr. Janowicz?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
You want to do the other ones now, or do you want to, it's up to you guys.
What would you like? Let's do the other two.
The other two, and then we'll do it after? Okay, sounds good. All right, next, would like to move forward with promotion of 2 corporals. Again, the list, we had Officer Jacobs and Detective Wartzman. This list would have been good for 2 years as well, but it's going to be expired tonight, which we'll discuss further here in the meeting in a couple minutes. But again, these 2 gentlemen did a tremendous job. Their work's been impeccable. I have full confidence in them as well, too, as being supervisors in our department. They both bring a lot to the table. They both have military experience, and they've been leaders in the military, which is positive. So I have full faith in them, and I look forward to working with them as well in their new capacity. So at this time, I'd like to move forward with approval to promote Officer Jacobs and Officer Wartzman to the rank of corporal.
I need a motion to promote Officer Jacobs and Wortman to corporal.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Pat Moran, second.
I'll second that.
Ray Paradiso, roll call, please.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Clement?
Aye.
Mr. Janowicz?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Congratulations. Lukasik and Rybicki.
Can you keep it down a little bit, a little lower? Mary Jo especially.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
You guys may get a picture of the two of them. Two corporals. Hang out here for a second. All right, Sam and Dave.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And then four of them. And then family, if you guys want to come and take pictures with them, we'll do that real quick right after. And then the officers real quick, and then the family. Come on up, guys. Yes.
You guys don't want to talk anymore?
No, I'm tired of ducking. One of these is gonna get the top of my head, so.
I'm amazing. Oh, you can be the witness. You're embarrassing me. I'll take the credit on that one for sure.
All right, we're gonna have to squeeze in, so.
So you can take some.
We'll take it to both sides.
Flying cans, I really can't get arrested.
All right, family, want to get pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Guess I moved too quick. Ready?
No, wait.
One more? Yeah, we did.
What's that?
All right.
One more?
Sam, look at me. Yeah, here. Get back over there, Sam, look at me. Ready, 1, 2, 3. All right, take 3.
You're fired.
Okay, if everybody's ready, old business, Chief Ledoux?
Okay, old business. The first thing in our old business was an update on our new hire. We are still waiting on Perf. Perf met last week. We were hoping to hear from them today, but we haven't, so we will call tomorrow on the candidate. Last we heard, he was only held up on a missing piece of medical information. We have our fingers crossed that we'll have him on his first shift this Sunday, but that's making sure everything aligns. So if he doesn't start this Sunday, it'll be another 2 weeks because we like to start him at the beginning of the pay period for the town. But he's also set to test soon for his national registry for his paramedic, so that's also good news as well. Update on our current new hire process. So our list was exhausted, as I explained I almost said last week, but last meeting. We received 18 applications. Of those 18 applications, 2 did not qualify due to perf requirements, age. 2 did not qualify because they missed orientation, and then 2 did not qualify because they were late to orientation. So 12 are moving on to the exam, which is May 18th at 5 o'clock at station. Those who obtain a 70% or greater will also move on. So June 1st are our officer interviews, and then June 2nd our admin interview. Ray has confirmed. I was hoping maybe Chief DeYoung, you were available that day, or someone else.
Yeah, I'll talk to you after this.
Okay. And our list certification meeting will be the list certification will be next meeting, June 20th. And last but not least, update on our promotional process. So we received 1 application for BC, 3 applications for our lieutenant position on the full-time side, and 2 for our POC LT. Exam is set for May 31st at 3 in our upper-level conference room, and interviews are June 13th in the upper-level conference room as well. Thank you.
All set. New business. Chief?
Okay, so being tonight that we exhausted the 2-year eligibility list for corporal, I'm looking to move forward to go through another process to establish the 2-year list. Again, this is just to create the list, being that we exhausted it, so I'm just looking for approval from the board tonight for that.
Chief, real quick, what are the qualifications that they need to qualify for corporal?
They have to be a first-class patrol officer in 2 years.
2 years, okay.
2 years at this department, right?
Correct.
I'll make a motion to start the process to establish a current list for the rank of corporal.
All right, motion, Mr. Young, second.
I'll second it.
Ray Paradisio, all in, roll call vote.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye?
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Kometz?
Aye.
Mr. Janowicz?
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next, we have the approval of the lateral emergency hire policy amendment. We met with Mr. Janowicz and Mr. Moran in reference to this. We had the resolution before you defining the process. If there's not any other questions on it, I'm looking for approval for that as well.
I'll make a motion, we approve it to go on to the town council so they can adopt it.
I don't think this one goes to the council.
It's an ordinance, isn't it? Wasn't it presented as an ordinance
Correct,
at
Adam?
the town council meeting?
No, I don't know what occurred at the town council meeting, but the resolution is a document that would be approved by the Board of Safety, and it basically is approval of a general order, and pursuant to Town Ordinance 1699, the Board of Safety has
Okay.
that authority to basically direct and approve general orders, special orders of the police department and the fire department.
Okay, then I'll amend my motion to just approve it.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Paradisio, second.
I'll second that.
Mr. Clements, roll call.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Clement?
Aye.
Mr. Janowitz?
Aye. Motion carries. Next, Chief.
Okay, next was the 2-year lateral emergency hire list. Looking for approval to certify this list, which will be posted today and expires 2 years from now, May 16, 2024, at 12 a.m. We conducted interviews with this. Like I said, we did 14 interviews total, and a couple of you gentlemen were there for one of them. After the conclusion of those interviews and putting everything together, we forward you the list of candidates, ranked 1 through 7, and their names were excluded for, so their identity wouldn't be released. So we went by application number, which is in front of you, which I gave you guys the full list via email, and we're looking for approval to certify this list tonight for 2 years.
Approval to certify the 2-year lateral emergency hire list.
So moved.
I'd like to make that motion.
Mr. Young already made the motion.
Oh, I didn't hear, sorry.
He's 30 seconds. He was actually 30 seconds ahead of me, but it's the delay.
Well, all right, I know you got to, who's the second then, or?
That one.
Yeah, give it to Pat.
Pat's
Take
got
a
the
second.
motion, I need a second.
So moved.
Steve DeYoung, roll call, please.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Clements?
Aye.
Mr. Janowitz?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Next.
Next on the list is the approval to offer a conditional offer of employment to the number 1 candidate on that list you just approved. We already kind of started moving forward with some of his medical exam and his psychological. It's already been completed, and he's good to go on that. We're just waiting on the medical examination to come back. Once that's done, we can move forward, but for now, we're looking to approval a conditional offer pending his results.
Okay, in a motion to approve the lateral hire candidate, number 1 on the list, pending the results of this test.
I'll make that motion to approve the lateral hire pending the results of
Motion,
the
Mr.
test.
Clement, second.
I'll second it.
I'll second.
Mr. Paradisio.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Clements?
Aye.
Mr. Janowitz?
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm looking, once, if everything goes right and he gets approved with everything, your next meeting, we'll probably swear him in then, just so you're aware. Thank you. And the last item on the agenda for us is the police-directed towing services. That's up again for the year. And I believe Amy sent you the announcement, which will be posted tomorrow, correct, you said, Amy?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll go out tomorrow, and the packets will be made, and they'll be due June 16th at 4 p.m. I'm also looking for approval to move forward with that, as well as moving this from a 1-year contract to a 2-year contract. So it'll be a favorable recommendation for you, the council, to do a 2-year contract once these are approved by you guys.
I believe we did approve last year that we were going to do a 1-year with any future being 2-year.
Correct.
So that should be in the minutes somewhere. So I guess just as far as the announcement is that they know it's going to be a 2-year process.
Exactly.
It should cover everything that we need.
Okay.
And Chief, I know in the past, we've dealt with incomplete applications.
They will be told,
Make sure they're told this.
for sure.
Okay, so then we're at the point we need the motion to approve the advertising.
Correct.
For the towing services?
Yes.
Okay. Motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the advertising for police-directed towing services for a 2-year contract, which we'll be vote on next month.
Second.
I'll second.
Mr. Clements, roll call, please.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Clements?
Aye.
Mr. Janowitz?
Aye. Motion carries.
That's it. Thank you.
That's it.
Appreciate it.
Public comment? Nobody? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Paradisio, second.
So moved.
Steve DeYoung, roll call, please.
Mr. DeYoung?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Paradiso?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Mr. Kametz?
Aye.
And Mr. Janoway?
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, gentlemen.